All right, we've got a lot of stuff to do. We've got some bee stuff to do today, and what in the world? Let's fix that. That's better. Well, today's episode is sponsored by Audible.com. Thank you to them for sponsoring it. We'll talk about them here in a little bit. First, we need to head outside. We got some cold weather coming in. We need to get the chicks ready for winter, and we need to get the bees moved over before it gets too cold. Let's see if I can do it without killing them this time. Let's go.
Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time and doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright.
All right, so we've got this shed over here, and whoa, that's dark. And in this shed, we've got all of our chicks and guineas. And as you can tell, it's pretty dark in here. We did have a light, but it burned out, and we could just replace that light over here. But ultimately, we need to get new power in here. We need to get some new outlets to plug into so we don't have to stretch extension cords all the way across the room. And I'd like to put a light switch and a light up top so we can have some light in here. So before I get started on the bees, moving the bees around, I need to get this room all wired up. So the chicks are in a good situation. We're about to leave in a few days for Front Royal, Virginia for the Homesteaders of America conference. If you guys are anywhere on the East Coast, come check it out. It'll be this Friday and Saturday, October 11th and 12th in Virginia. Lots of awesome speakers. We'll be there filming the event, and we'd love to meet you guys if you guys come out. In the meantime, I need to clear everything out of here so I can work on the electricity in here and get the chicks and guineas set up. And then also we can move our rabbit in here, Pickles, because it's gonna get really cold this weekend. So we can get a cage put in here, the cage we kept them in last winter, and that way we can keep them out of the weather and provide some heat for them. All right, well, we got everything done inside the shed. We now have lights on a switch. We now have power plugged in and back behind them. And we've got the rabbit cages moved in here. So we've got Pickles. And it's gonna be getting cold in the next day or two. I think tomorrow night it's gonna get down to freezing. So we're gonna make him a little nest right in here. All right, Pickles, we got you all ready to go into your new home here for the winter. We'll let him out on warm days, but we'll get him in here so he's all warm inside. Go, buddy. Got some hay and straw and alfalfa and water. You're all ready to snuggle up. Think you'll like it?
Yes.
And you get the company of the chicks this weekend. Got a ton of their feed here.
Yeah,
Do you guys have any surefire ways to keep them from knocking all this feed out? Because I think they're wasting about 75% of this on the ground. It's a guinea.
It's a guinea.
It's a guinea.
It's a guinea.
Somebody said we should name the guineas Guinea Denny. Because it sounds like you saying Denny.
Denny.
Should we name this one Denny?
Yes.
And here's one of our pretty lavender Orpingtons.
Here's our Robin Orpington.
So now we've got these guys all set up for winter. I'll close them up and then let's go work with the bees. Hey! Like our new lights up in here? Those are pretty sweet. All right, well, we're getting ready to go out and work with the bees. Eli, you want to put your bee suit on? And I want to talk about today's sponsor, Audible, while we're getting dressed here. Listening makes us smarter, more connected people. It makes us better partners, parents, and leaders. And there's no better place to do that than Audible. Audible is where so many inspiring voices and compelling stories open listeners up to new experiences and ways of thinking. Audible members get more than ever before. Members choose 3 titles every month. 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals that you can't hear anywhere else. Members also have unlimited access to more than 100 fitness and meditation programs. Audible delivers bestsellers, business, self-improvement, narrated by actors, authors, and motivational superstars. Audible members also get free access to the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, all delivered to their Audible app. And with the convenient app, members can access Audible anytime at the gym, while commuting, on the go, and on any device. It'll always pick up right where you left off. Audible also offers free and easy audiobook exchanges, credits you can roll over for a year, and a library you can keep forever if you cancel. You can start listening with a 30-day Audible trial where you'll get 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals for free. Just visit audible.com/whitehouse, or you can text White House to 500. In fact, I have been listening to Beekeeping Guide for Beginners by Edward Cooper because I am pretty ADD when it comes to books and cannot focus. And so to listen to him talk about beekeeping is a much easier way for me to learn than to read a book. So be sure to get your free 30-day trial by visiting audible.com/WHITEHOUSE or text White House to 500-500. And thank you to Audible for sponsoring this video. All right, buddy, you ready to check on the bees?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. What's going on over there?
Peacock's doing a show. He's shy.
All right, well, it is go time to get the bees moved over from the swarm trap right there. That's where we caught the bees a couple weeks ago. They've probably been in there almost a month now, and they've been building up their hive for winter, but it's gonna get cold soon, and so it's either we leave them alone or we move them into here. And this hive has way better insulation, a lot thicker walls, has insulation in the roof, and so I feel much more comfortable if I can get them into here for the winter. But to do that, we need to move their frames over to here, and the frames don't fit from that box into this box. So what we learned from the last time we tried to do this, when we moved their frames out of there, we didn't have anything to hold it to these frames, and so now we know to get these big rubber bands, and we're just going to stick anything that falls off will stick into here, and then we'll move it into there along with the bees. So the bees will be moving a really short distance, and hopefully we can keep everything together, and then the bees will just chew through this when they're all done, and then it'll be formed to this frame. Along with that, it's also in the late fall here, and so we've got some bee pollen. We've got a whole package of pollen, so we'll give them some of that for supplemental pollen, and then we can also make it into little like sugar balls where they can get access to pollen all throughout the winter if they need it to keep building.
Have you opened this hive up yet?
I opened it at the top. I opened this hive at the top, but I haven't been able to get the frames out. They're really stuck in there from all the building. So I'm really gonna have to work at it. I just tried to use it with my hands a few days ago just to make sure the bees were doing okay, and I couldn't get it out. So also something I didn't have last time was a smoker. So hopefully we can keep the bees a little calmer this time around too. There's a ton in here, but it all came off the wire right as I pulled it up, so I'll have a lot to move over, which is okay. I was gonna have to move it over anyway. Let's see if I can get multiple frames out at once so I don't cut up what they built. They just built all across the box there. It's amazing what they can build. There's nothing down on the ground this time. Everything is hung up in the frames. All right, so if you guys think I'm brave for messing with the bees that close, look at this girl that's been filming this whole thing without a bee suit on.
Yeah, this close to the bees.
Were you scared at all?
A little bit when you were shaking them out of the box when they got all mad. Yeah, that's a little scary, but I'm okay.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
Do you think we did better this time than last time?
Yeah, I think so. A little bit more planned out, a little more structure. I just hope they survive this time though.
Yeah, so I hope that they adapt to their new house, they get moved over. There's still a ton of them hanging out in the old house right down there, their old swarm trap. So we'll check back tomorrow to see how they're doing. Guys. All right, so it's the next day and I see a big swarm here, right over here on the swarm trap box. There's a good collection of them over there. Of course, everything they have has been moved into there. I'm just a little concerned that they're either over here to keep warm or that they're protecting the queen, and there's no way to get her over there unless we just move her. All right, there's a good collection of those guys down here. So I need to move this box over here to get the rest of these bees moved over. This is just amazing to see. Look at this. So there's nothing on the ground at all. We've been able to keep it clean in the hive, and therefore there have been really minimal deaths here in the 24 hours in moving our hive over. Well, so far this is looking really good. Let me get the frames back in here.
Now one of them.
Got one on you? He's a nice bee, isn't he?
Oh.
I feel like it went way better this time. They're looking much better the day after. And with the exception of the grouping of them in the old swarm box, they all look like they've moved over to the new box with all of the growth that's in there. Well, thank you for hanging out with us today, and thank you to audible.com for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to check them out. We've got a link to them in our description. We'll see you guys next time. Say buzz buzz.
Buzz, buzz. Let us get you.